Hi everyone! I'm going to show you how to create a Knightlab timeline for our Romeo and Juliet project. However, the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that you are signed into a Google email account. Most of you should have a Google account through our school, so sign into that. You'll just go to google.com, the top right here, you'll click and you will click add account and you'll go into your Google account here. If you need help creating one, please let me know and I will help you create a Google account. So, the next step that we need to do is we need to go to timeline.knightlab.com. You don't need to type in the / make. If you type in this, it'll simply bring you to the same exact place. So, once we do this, we're going to click Make a Timeline. It'll bring us down to this first anchor. Step 1 is to create your spreadsheet. We'll click Get the Spreadsheet Template. It'll ask you to make a copy. This will make a copy to your Google account, and there it is. And this was made to my art account, so please note if you have multiple Google accounts which one it goes to. At the top left is the name of our timeline. I want you to click here and name it Romeo and Juliet Timeline. It is in my Drive folder, which is perfectly fine. If you have organization in your folders, you may change that. You simply just click here and choose which one it would go to. The next step that I want you to do is you're going to click Share. And you're going to choose the emails of the people in your group. So only one person in your group should be making this timeline. And then you will share it with someone else. I'll share it with my other email address. Click here and make sure that they can edit, because everybody needs to be working on this. If you ever deal with something shared in the future, you can use it where someone can only comment or someone can only view it. But we're going to have can only edit. The add a note part here is where you can type in something like, hey, I'm adding you to see my spreadsheet. And they will get that message through either email or a Google Share invite. And then we'll hit send. So now my other account will be able to edit this if they like. So we're starting with the beginning here. The beginning, this very first row here is going to be the cover of our timeline. So we obviously don't need a year, month, day, or time. We will not need any of this on any of these. So you can go ahead and delete these now. Just click and delete. Click, delete. So, in headline, we're going to give it a name. You can get creative. You can come up with any name that you'd like for your Romeo and Juliet timeline as long as it's appropriate. So I would say Fast Times at Fair Verona. It's a reference to an old movie that probably no one here has watched. I do want you to have some text on every one of these. Even if it's the title page, I still want a little bit of subtitle. So, Fast Times at Fair Verona. A week in the day and life of Romeo and Juliet. I'm actually going to change that, say the day and life and death of Romeo and Juliet. Because, spoiler alert, even though it is the first paragraph in the book, Romeo and Juliet die. We're going to come over to media, and you must have an image for every single slide. So, the best way to do this is we're going to open a new tab, and we're going to search Romeo and Juliet, and we're going to click Images. Here are a bunch of images that you can use for Romeo and Juliet. However, these images are not free. I know it's surprising, but Google does not provide free images to everybody, just upon first glance. These are all copyrighted. Some of them may be copyrighted, not all of them. And so we need to use a free one. Specifically for this project, I'm going to require you to use a free image. It's very important to know how to use this tool for future and in college. So we're going to click on Tools. This is a tool a lot of people don't really know about. You can search for size. Maybe you want really large pictures or icon sizes. You can do color, so we can do full color, black and white. You can even pick colors that are like similar. Like if we click orange, it'll bring up just kind of ones with orange hues. We're going to go back to any color. Type. Does it have a face? Do you want a photo? Is it a clip art, line drawing? It doesn't move. Is it like a GIF? We want any type at this point. Time. Was it posted in the past 24 hours, the past week? This will come useful if you do research projects. If it's the past 24 hours, we know that that's the most recent news that has come out on that, and the most recent image for that news. The thing that we're going to be clicking is usage rights, though. So these are not filtered by license. So some of these are licensed material that we are not allowed to use without paying. Yes, it's Google. Yes, you can steal it. They probably won't find you. But if they do, it could be dire consequences. If a college knows that you're using licensed images or any kind of material without permission, they can give you a 0, kick you out of that class, or kick you out of that school. So it's very important that we pick the one where we are allowed to use this. So we're going to click Labeled for Reuse with Modification. This means that we can reuse it and that we can actually modify the image if we need to. We probably won't, but just to give us the most freedom with the most liberty with these images, we're going to click Labeled for Reuse with Modification. These are the images. Yes, I know they're uglier. I know it's limited. I know it's not as cool as the ones we previously had. But they are free and they will keep us out of trouble. So we're going to choose one of these that best describes what Romeo and Juliet overall means to us. Oh boy, these are ugly. I'm just going to pick this one right here. Oh, I like this one actually. Oh yes, look at that mustache. We are definitely using this one. Okay, so to collect this image, we're going to right click, copy image address, go back, right click. You can either hit right click paste or you can hit Control V. Now, this is going to be important as well. Media credit. Who does this photo belong to and who do we credit for using it? Yes, it's free, but credit is given where credit is due. So the best way to find where credit should go is to visit where it came from. This image came from Wikimedia Commons. Wikimedia Commons is a great place to find free images. As you can see here, from Wikimedia Commons, the free media repository. So let's go back, and so we know it's Wikimedia Commons. So when we say media credit, we're just going to say Wikimedia Commons. Media caption. For this image, I want you to have, sorry, my cat is meowing. I want you to type in a caption for your image. So you would say Romeo with Fair Juliet, or something along those lines. We don't need a media thumbnail. We don't need a type, group, or background. So now we're going to begin with our first slide. We know that Shakespeare lived in the late 1500s and early 1600s. I don't know an exact date. I'm going to pull one out of a hat, and I'm going to say this took place in 1587. We know that Juliet's birthday was coming up, and her birthday is in July, so the month is going to be 7. You may choose a specific date if you want to, but later on, but for this project, I'm going to have you start with day 1, so we can just keep things in order and see how many days it actually takes for Romeo and Juliet to fall in love and for them to ultimately reach their demise. So we're going to start with day 1. Now, Time. Let's look at the first thing that happens. The first thing that happens is that the Montagues and the Capulets fight in the street. So, we're going to change our headline here. And I might change this to House Fight. You can come up with whatever creative title you like, as long as it's related to the events that are happening. We'll go to text. And you can look at your sheet for inspiration, but I want you to come up with your own text for this. So it says house fight, and you can say Montagues and Capulets fight in the streets. They bite their thumbs at each other. Okay? We go to media. Once again, oh shoot, I wrote this in the wrong area. That's okay. We'll click this, highlight. Control X is to cut. We'll click here, highlight. Control V is to paste. Click here, Control X, Control V. Alright. So we'll go over here. And once again, we need another image. We want a free image. So we'll go back to our tab. Click here. And we want something that shows that they fought in the streets. So let's say fighting. And here we go. We got some decent images here. Remember to always choose school appropriate images and images that you feel that would relate to what we're talking about. If you truly wanted to use these two bears fighting, I would take it. Try not to use anything with blood. To be honest, this kind of makes me laugh. We're going to use these kangaroos fighting. So, right click, copy image address. Click here. Highlight all of this. Control V or right click paste. Media credit, once again, we'll click here. We'll visit the website it came from. publicdomainpictures.net. And we will see if there's any specific name. It looks like Peter Kratochvil is the one who took this photo, so we would copy his name. If you can't find a particular photographer, you would just put publicdomainpictures.net. But we have Peter over here. So we'll click here. Double click this. Control V. Media caption will be "A fight breaks out." You don't need a period because it's just a caption. Remember, we don't need this section over here. And now, let's go on to our next event. Once again, the year is 1587. You could choose any year, basically, from 1560 to 1610. However, you must stay consistent. This all happened in a single week, within a single month, within a single year. So we have to stay consistent. So basically, your year and month are going to stay the same throughout the entire project. This is day 2. And I forgot to put the time for the house fight. So we know that Benvolio, when looking for Romeo after the fight between the Montagues and the Capulets, took place at 9 because he said, "But noon struck 9." This took place before that happened because Benvolio was there to break it up. So the year's 1587, the month is July, it's day 1, and the time is before 9. So I'm going to go with 8:30. 8:30 a.m. And this is occurred on the same day. So just make sure your times are chronological and things are adding up. So 1587, month is July, and it is day 1 still. The next thing that happens is that Prince Aeschylus comes and breaks up the fight. So we'll put this here. And let's say they fought for like 15 minutes. So 8:45 a.m. So this is going to be an estimation. We do have some definite time marks within the text, and those I want to be accurate. However, ones that are not stated in the text of what exact time it is, we're just going to do an estimation at what time it takes place. So the headlight is break it up. And I don't know if you guys know this about headlines, but every word must be capitalized when it comes to a headline. Some words that don't have to be capitalized would be words such as and the, or then, kind of filler words. So this one is perfectly acceptable. We'll go to text, and we're going to see what happens. The prince breaks up the fight between the Montagues and Capulets. He threatens that if they fight one more time, they will be punished by death. For the information that I'm using in this example, you may use the text that I use if you'd like. So once again, we need another image. We need a symbol that will recognize breaking up a fight, or possibly a prince. So let's see what we can get. Really, kitty? You're gonna break everything? This doesn't look like anything I really want. That definitely doesn't look like anything I want. Okay, let's see. Let's put a prince. We don't want that prince. We don't want that prince. Oh, it's George Bush. More George Bush. Okay, let's try and find a prince crown. This works. These are pretty. We'll grab this one. And once again, we're going to right click, copy image address. Click here. Double click this. Control V. Media credit. It belongs to, oh look, our good old friend Wikimedia Commons. You can kind of see that here sometimes. It's always best to visit and make sure no particular name is on this. At this point, we have Tom Lemons, so we'll use the name Tom Lemons. Copy. Control V. Highlight this, and we'll say A Prince's Crown. We don't need a thumbnail. We don't really need to get into any of this. I'm going to delete this because I don't know what this is. I don't trust it. So, here we have the first 3 slides. We have the cover, we have the first slide, and the second slide. If you need more slides, you can add 1,000 more. We may not need to add 1,000 more. Control Z makes that go away. You can see you want to add 10 more. And there we go. It gets a little messy down here, so you gotta make sure you're staying in line. The way you can see that is this is highlighted and this is highlighted. The way to publish it to the web is to go to File. We're going to go down to Publish to the Web. It'll ask for the entire document and for a web page and link. Yes, this is all correct. And publish. Yes, I want to publish. You can close this. Don't worry if you're worried about anybody finding it. Nobody will find it necessarily. There's a million of these that are made. I've made like 40 of them so far trying to make this video. So, your identity will be secret. Like, no one can really find it unless they have the link for it. So, let's go back. We'll go back up to step 3. Highlight all of this. Control V. Come down, and we'll click Preview again. Alright. So there it is. There's our picture. There's our Romeo with his sweet, sweet mustache and little goatee thingy. Alright. Fast Times at Fair Verona. A week in the day and life and death of Romeo and Juliet. Next. Sweet house fight at 8:30 a.m. July 1st, 1587. Montagues and Capulets fight in the streets. They bite their thumbs at each other. And here is our photo credit, and here is our caption. And that is our image. And we will hit next. Break it up. The prince breaks up the fight between the Montagues and the Capulet. He threatens that if they fight one more time, they will be punished by death. 8:45 a.m., July 1st, 1587. A Prince's Crown. Photo by Tom Lennons. And then we don't have anything else to click here because that's all the slides that we've made. So, you and your partners will create the timeline from start to finish. And you're going to have it in chronological order. Each one will have a title, and each one will have text below it telling what happened. A symbol must be on every slide. You must have photo credit, and you must have a comment. You can decide between your partners how to split this up. Everybody must participate. You will have a partner reflection sheet at the end of the project, and it will confirm that everybody has participated in one way or another. You may divide this up as people get separate sections. They can have a certain act and take care of it on their own, or you can work together on every slide, or someone can have the responsibility of looking for photos, and someone can have the responsibility of coming up with titles, and etc. However you decide to divide it. Because you shared this document, every one of you can be on your computer working on this at the same time. One extra part is the background. If you notice, remember I said I didn't trust some of this stuff over here? If you noticed, we come back to our timeline, the first page is white. This page is black, a dark gray. And this page is white once again. If we go to our timeline over here, it has background, and these are the colors of which they are. A lot of us don't know the number codes off the top of our head. I might look up a way for you guys to find them. I use Photoshop to find my colors. But the number one thing is white is always number F, 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 F. Your color numbers are always 6 figures. So we will have 3 Fs to make white. To be pure black, which we probably don't want to use because our text is black. We'll see how it turns out. Number, and we'll say 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Is that 3 or 6? Yes. And we'll come back here, and we'll probably click preview again to see. So the background is white, and it changes our text a little bit. It's hard to see. Oh, we can read it because it is white. You can play with it a little bit. As long as it's 6 figures, it doesn't matter. So let's click here, and we'll say 1D864F. Is that 6? Yep. Now let's see what that makes. Come back. We'll hit preview. And we got this green color. So you're welcome to do that. I'm sure you can Google color codes. And HTML color codes. Perfect. And, oh, look at this really cool key. Yeah, you can just totally pick whatever color you want. And then right here would be your color code. You right click, copy, and you come up here. And we want this one to now be this color. And once again, we'll come back, hit preview. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, it's because we don't have a number sign in front of it. That's very important. Go back, preview. There we go. pretty similar. So make sure everybody in your team has a job. Make sure that you are working consistently, and this project will be due at the end of the week, so everybody stay on top of it. If you have internet access at home, you are certainly welcome to work on it at home as well. The way to find it is you'll go to Google, you'll go to this little box here, and you'll click on your drive, and it should be saved right here. If not, it'll be down here somewhere. Alright, thanks for watching. Make sure that we get to work.